folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, I'm just going to give you a fair warning on today's video. This is probably just going to be a big rant. It's something that it's just been gnawing at me for a long time, and I've wanted to say something about it and address this, and I wanted to do it in a more professional way and present some evidence and articles and video and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to get on here and I'm just going to rant, and we'll see where this video takes us. The subject today is where's the intelligence gone? Well, where is the dignity gone? Where's the critical thinking gone in our population? I mean, on the left and the right, really. It just seems like more and more, well, there's just not a lot of intellectually sound people, whether they're the actions that they are doing, the things that they're buying into and believing, or just the way that they speak and the way that they behave. I've joked about it for years, and more I kind of wonder if maybe it's not a joke, that, you know, humanity is like, you know, going backwards evolutionary. Now, let me make this clear. I don't believe in evolution. I believe in creation. You know, the Almighty God created us. But in a joking way, it's like humans are going backwards. And we're seeing more and more of that every day all around us. And I just wanted to, I don't know, get on here and rant about it, I guess. Before I get started, I do want to mention a great company that I work with. If you're in the market to buy some emergency freeze-dried food products, you know, the kind of stuff that you can put on the shelf, put in your cabinet, put in your food preps, and just kind of forget about it until you need it. And that could be needing it 10, 20, 30 years down the road, and it'll still be good. The folks at My Patriot Supply that I have teamed up with, you can go there and get an amazing variety of products, and they're really good quality and a really good value for what you're getting. And there'll be a link in the description below. It'll be the first link down in the description, and you can go to My Patriot Supply, and they sell the stuff in big buckets. You can buy it in number 10 cans, all sorts of different products that'll you can set aside along with your other food preps. And this stuff, you don't even have to worry about it. It just sits there, and whenever you need it, for most of us within our lifetime, it'll still be good. All right, so craziness. You know, like I said, I was going to give examples of what I mean by posting, you know, maybe showing you some crazy videos of people that how they're behaving, or people in the news media or politicians, and the stuff that they're spewing out and the stuff that they're believing. But the more I think about it, I don't really need to do that. I think, and I may be assuming too much, but I don't think that I am. I think most of my listeners know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking that, you know, referring to people that, you know, of higher intelligence. You know, these people that we would consider throughout history to be the Isaac Newtons and the, you know, the Nikola Teslas of humanity. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just regular old common sense and decency and just normal human behavior. It's like it's all gone. Why? Well, there's a lot of reasons why, I think. I think that, you know, part of it is just the indoctrination of the media. You know, if you really wanted to get into it, which we're not going to in this video, or at least I'm not going to. If you want to talk about it in the comments, and some of you want to leave some evidence to back this up, because I know some of you think the same thing, that's fine with me. But you've all probably heard of the MK Ultra programs, you know, where they, you know, would brainwash, you know, maybe actors and musicians and people to get them to do their bidding. There's low level of that, and there's certainly a lot of evidence to back this up, that virtually all media, from the time that television was invented, or nearly that time, there has been a kind of a psyop being played on the population through the media, and the way that TV shows present themselves, the way that commercials, the news, everything, and then on into movies, and then taking that into what we're seeing in social media. So that I believe that there's definitely a level of just making the American population stupid because of how things are presented. There's much less, there's just not a lot of intellectual thought anymore, especially if you ever watch TV and movies. And like I've explained here before, here on our homestead, in our home, we are very, very selective of what ourselves and our children, put into their minds. And so, we don't just have TV, and they don't have access to movies and video games whenever they want. We do have entertainment, and we do have select movies and stuff, but we are very selective of those. But in general, I believe that that's part of it. I believe that there's probably chemicals being sprayed, and chemicals in our food, and chemicals in our water that, show that it's probably reducing the intellectual level of most people. I could go on and on this, but the point is, looking around us, it's like, is everyone just getting dumb? And I know that sounds harsh, and I'll probably get some people on here commenting that, oh, you're being too mean, you're being too harsh, too abrasive, and maybe you're right. But at some point, I have to be honest with you. And honestly, I don't care, because I see a world around us where at one time there seemed to be some great minds on this planet, especially here in the United States. The U.S. Has, I believe, when it comes to intellectual contributions to this world, has done a great deal of contributing to the sciences and the medical development and just overall understanding, theology and so on. And it's like now, not so much. I mean, there's a few smart people out there probably, but when it comes to just common understanding, my grandfather used to refer to it as horse sense, just common sense. It's like it doesn't exist anymore. You see these people that are just buying hook, line, and sinker whatever they're being told to them by mainstream media, by whatever the narrative is coming from the officials from the White House or from the CDC or from the CNN, bots that just kind of regurgitate whatever they're being told to tell you. And then there's just people out there that believe this without critically thinking about what they're telling them. They don't stop for a moment and say, does this even make sense? Oh, you can't wear it? Oh, you should wear it. Oh, you should only wear it during these times. But no, you should wear it all the time. Oh, now because you got that thing, you don't have to wear it at all. And so on and so forth. And this has been going on for over a year now. And it's to the point that the American people just, or at least a lot of them, just seem to be almost like it's a cult, okay? It's just like it's a cult. I was listening this morning to a little news clip at the White House, and it was the White House spokesperson, the redheaded chick. And she was being questioned by some reporter, asking if the White House would consider reversing the CDC's latest recommendations for the things that go over your face. Because now they're saying that if you got the thing in your arm, then you're good. You don't have to wear it anymore. And so this reporter was saying that there's this group of nurses, some nursing organization that feels that their lives are being threatened because people that got the thing in their arm may choose to stop wearing it on their face. And that they feel that their lives are threatened. They also said, this reporter, that they feel it is a threat to minorities, that they need to reverse, the CDC needs to reverse this. And I'm thinking, if you believe that thing that they're putting in your arm, if you believe that that's as good as it is, that it's good, that it's safe, and that everybody needs it, then why are you so afraid of people taking things off their face? Did you actually think about it? Do you have any kind of evidence to support your feelings? No, they don't. Because nowadays, it doesn't matter what the facts are. It doesn't matter what the evidence shows. It doesn't matter how many times you've experimented and you've proven something in a scientific manner. No, none of that matters. What matters is how you feel about something. Does it make you feel good, or does it make you feel bad? And apparently, we are getting into the day of an age that's where our laws are going to go. It doesn't matter what's right and wrong. It doesn't matter what makes sense. It doesn't matter what facts are. What matters is how you feel. And if you feel offended, well, then we have to adjust the law for that. And if you feel threatened, we have to adjust the law for that. And if you feel that your life is in danger, that someone else should do something differently, even though there's no evidence whatsoever that it's going to make you safer, because you feel safer, then that other person should do that. This has been going on for a while, but because of this health crisis, because of all the stuff that's been going on in the news over the last several months, we are seeing it more and more. We're seeing people that they just don't seem to really think about things. They don't stop and hear the information and ask themselves, question for themselves, does this make sense? And if they don't know, if they don't have the answer, they're not taking the time to actually go research the answer. They're not taking the time to figure out, is there any evidence to back up your feelings? And if there's no evidence to back up your feelings, then maybe you should just say, it was just a feeling, I'll move on because I'm okay, I'm safe. The same thing is going on with racial issues. It doesn't matter what the facts are. It doesn't matter what is actually happening out there. What matters is what you feel. What matters is how it looks good or looks bad. There's just a big lack of critical thinking, and a lack of understanding, and a lack of just intellectual thought. And there's a lack of intellectual behavior. And I see that also on the right side too. There's a YouTuber, and I'm not going to mention him because I'm not here to trash him. This isn't even trashing him. I watch him, every once in a while, and he puts out a lot of good information on, personal freedoms and speaking out, First Amendment, Second Amendment, things like that. And he'll replay other people's videos that he's found. And he was playing another person's video, and the person was being confronted by police officers, and it was a First Amendment issue. And he was able to, get the police to kind of back down and realize that they were in the wrong. But what I felt that, he could have improved his tactics a little bit is the way he was communicating with them. Everyone wants to use foul language. They want to scream and yell. They want to get emotional when they're confronting someone, no matter what it is. And we've lost this dignified debate. If you go back and you do historical research on our founding fathers, they were not all in one unison, in one accord, and one agreement on how this government should be set up. They were not on the same page when it came to certain rights and that were, spelled out in the Constitution and the way that the government should be formed. But I really can't remember ever reading, and I've done, I feel, for a lay person, pretty extensive research into the history of the founding of this nation. And I don't ever recall at one point them, their debates getting to the point that they were being nasty with each other. They were name calling, or they were, becoming so emotional that they were to the point of becoming either violent or having a breakdown or crying or screaming or anything like that. And not only in the world that we live in today does it seem like there is no intelligence, but there's also seems to be no control of our emotions, which could also be connected to the things that's been played out on TV over the last few decades, and the things that are put in our food and the water and the air, who knows. But the thing is that I'm trying to get across, or that I'm here ranting about, I guess, is that among all the things that are going on, it's like we as humans, our society has really changed, and it's like it's almost like there's no capability anymore to have an intellectual debate. There's no capability of hearing both sides. And even if you disagree with that person, even if there's no doubt in your mind that you know that they're wrong, you have the facts to back up your opinion, people just still can't have a decent debate and use language from that is considered decent and dignified. Everyone wants to become nasty in their verbiage and use curse words and, well, quite frankly, sound like an idiot. And I don't know what that necessarily has to do with this channel, but I did want to get on here and rant about it. And the fact that we're becoming a dumb society, it seems like to me. And call me a nut job, but I believe that's also part of their plan. How can we as a people truly stand and defend and fight against an oppressive, tyrannical enemy if we lack the intellectual skills to know how to do that? If we lack the ability to clearly communicate our position? If we all sound like we're, elementary school children fighting because we can't control ourselves and we can't carry on a decent debate. Look at the riots and the protests that's happened over the past year. Even if you take away the violent aspects, just look at the videos and the times that we're seeing where they're just verbally confronting each other. There's no intelligence in any of these confrontations on both sides. There have been very, very few videos that I've seen where any one person, regardless of whether they were on the left or the right, made an intellectual point and sounded like a decent person. Decency, what is that anymore? I guess it's as relative as morality. It's as relative as gender, apparently, anymore. And it's all based on what you feel it is and what it makes someone else feel like. And I think that is another degradation of our society. We should teach our children to be smart, not just book smart either. While that can be important, we need to teach them to critically think, have logic. In their school, we don't even do that anymore. They don't even teach logic and reason anymore. But we should teach that to our children, teach them how to logically and critically think and figure out a problem for themselves and to question the things that they're being told, because blind obedience, it leads to tyranny. Almost always does blind obedience lead to tyranny. And so we need to teach our children that. We also need to teach them just common decency. Teach them how to carry on a debate and to be able to, I guess for a lack of better terms, destroy another person's position with decent words and not with foul language and overactive emotions. I don't know where this world is going. I mean, I do know where it's going because I've read the end of the good book, but I'm talking about in the short term. I don't know where this is all heading, but I don't feel that it's heading, or that I don't think either way that it's heading in a good place. I think the only thing that can be of any good is folks like you and I doing what we can to prepare ourselves and to raise our children properly, to protect them as much as we can from the outside influence, the outside negative influence, and to teach them how to think, teach them how to understand things, teach them how to communicate in a proper way. And maybe they will end up being outcasts and outsiders because of that in this world. But in my personal opinion, that's probably not a very bad thing. All right, folks. Teach your children to be smart, because there's a vacuum of intelligence in this world today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.